Welcome into the Third and Wrong YouTube channel. This is Mike and Dylan today, coming at you with a little bit of a draft recap for our teams. As you can tell, we're Patriots and Colts fans today. Not often you get two of these together on good terms. But Gage is
I
out.
hate you, Dylan.
Yeah, same right back at you. But our resident Browns fan's not here, so we are not doing a Browns specific video. We'll wait until he gets to say his piece about it. But what a draft, what a great time of the year. We all get to look at our teams and be like, man, we killed the draft. Our team did the best.
We're going to the Super Bowl next year.
Yeah, we're going to the Super Bowl. So we got a good video today. We're going to be talking about the Colts and Patriots. We're going to start with the Patriots with Mikey here real quick. And then we'll go over to my Colts. And then we're also going to give you our top steals of the draft and our top reaches of the draft. So something to look forward to there. But before we get into everything, how are you doing, Mikey?
Good. Pretty good.
You pretty happy with your draft?
Yep. I'd say so.
A little bit better than Cole Strange.
Okay, he panned out. Right?
Yeah.
At the moment, I didn't know who he was. That's on me, not them. That's on me.
That's fair. All right. Well, go stop real quick. What you're doing? Give us a like, comment, and subscribe. You trust this kind of content, so just do it right now before we get into everything. Then you can sit back, listen, and appreciate the thoughts that we have, as wrong as they can be. So. We'll get into this video, but real quick, welcome to the intro. All right, so this is going to be our recap of the Patriots 2023 NFL Draft with our expert here, Mikey, lifelong fan, and we are going to be talking about this draft. So before we get into everything, what were you expecting going into the first round? What was like your expectation of what the Patriots were going to do?
Trade out.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, and normal not like. Normally, we don't trade out, but we do make trades. So I was just expecting us to probably be picking at late 20s, to be honest with you. We had the 14th pick, and I was expecting late 20s.
Yeah. Well, and the thing that's crazy for me is the first cornerback off the board happened at number 5 overall to the no. What number 7?
Was it the Raiders that picked him?
Well, so it was the Seahawks at 5. Yeah, it was Seahawks at 5. Yeah,
Witherspoon.
And then so Devon Witherspoon, that one was a surprise for me. So I was like, okay, dang, Christian Gonzalez is going to go here to the Lions. The Lions straight down to 12. So I was like, oh dang, all right then. And then so obviously the Cardinals take their pick, the Raiders take their pick. The Falcons get Bijan Robinson. The Eagles trade up to get Jalen Carter. And then the Bears go and take Darnell Wright.
Yep.
And then I was like, okay. And then what was 11? Who was 11? I'm blanking on it right now. I have it up here, actually. That's hilarious. 11 was... Oh, yeah, Peter Skoronski. So the the 12th pick comes up, and it's Detroit Lions, who everyone and their dog has been giving them a cornerback in the first round. And they take Jahmyr Gibbs. And then the Green Bay Packers take Lucas Van Ness, which is fair. And then you guys trade out of the pick. And I was so sold that you guys were going to go take Christian Gonzalez.
The 13 was the Commanders.
13 was Green Bay.
Oh, yeah. Commanders was what, 16? 15. They were 15
16,
or 16.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Pittsburgh trades up, as people have kind of reported afterwards, because Bill Belichick wanted to screw over the Jets, which it seems like he did. Gave Broderick Jones to the Steelers, and then the Jets ended up going with Will McDonald, which is an edge that some people thought it was like a late first round, so kind of a reach here for just like the general consensus pick, right? And then the Commanders take Emmanuel Forbes instead of Christian
Dude,
Gonzalez.
yeah, I
That
was laughing my ass off when I saw that because I didn't know
uh,
that they were gonna go corner or anything, but I was like,
yeah,
as soon as I saw that pick and it said Manuel Forbes, I was like, bro,
bro. Well, like
Christian Gonzalez is still on the board.
that's the thing is like the people have been saying that the Commanders like or Ron Rivera doesn't want a first round cornerback ever, and like that was kind of like the big thing is they're not going to take a corner, but then they take a cornerback who is 166 pounds. Like, I mean, yeah, he might have the most interceptions in college last year, but those were like great positioning interceptions rather than great like you know baiting the quarterback or just making great plays. It was more like being in the right situation or right place, right time. And then pick 17, pick after you guys get Christian Gonzalez, who a lot of people, including me, had him as the first cornerback. 6'2", I think what 200 something pounds. He has a basketball background. His parents are super athletic. Like, why would you not want Christian Gonzalez over Emmanuel Forbes? Like to me, that was
Man.
unreal to see that.
And he's a true outside corner too.
I wonder if like the Commanders just like thought that he was already gone, and they're like, oh yeah, Emmanuel Forbes, let's go Emmanuel Forbes, that's our guy, and then
Pull Sleepy Joe and fall asleep at the wheel.
I mean, would you be surprised they got a new owner?
I guess I'm not surprised at all, really.
But what a pick, dude! Like being able to trade back and get a cornerback like this, unreal, dude.
We need it so bad that we needed a guy like Christian Gonzalez so freaking bad because Jonathan Jones is not it, bro. He's not it.
No,
he's not so bad. He's just he can't cover the tall wide receiver ones or the guys that are normally on the outside. He can't cover the boundaries. That's not his game.
No,
he can't do it.
Well, and like the thing too is like I feel like with just this selection alone, with how great a value I think it is, I was like this. The draft is a win at this point. Like you got such a great deal in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
The draft is a win so far. So let's scroll down here. So it had cornerback, O-line, and wide receiver as your guys' biggest needs. So we'll kind of start off slow here, but we got Christian Gonzalez as your first pick. You go back and you get Keon White, middle of the second round. And he was there for the first round because a lot of people thought he was going to be a first round pick, and he thought he was going to be a first round pick. So, maybe there's something in there that was the reason why he didn't go in the first round. But still, talent wise, you got a guy that could be a first round pick in the second round. So 2 back-to-back picks that value wise is tremendous.
Bill Belichick, I love you, man. You finally you didn't screw me. Guys that didn't play Division III football and played more than 4 snaps.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Division III, we got a Division II player, Division I FCS player. I should be more accurate. Marte Maputo is one of the highest rated FCS players of this year from Sacramento State. They actually made an uncharacteristic long run in their championship series there, so a great team, and I think he's the only player from that team that made it into this draft this year. But a great linebacker. You were telling me that he might have some flexibility in his position.
Yeah, but he's kind of like a linebacker safety hybrid.
Cool, yeah.
So he's very athletic, very athletic.
Kind of like Kyle Duggar in a way, you were saying?
Yep. Just kind of like, that's what people were comparing him to. He's 6'3", 217.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So got some decent size on him, man. He's very athletic, very fast.
There you go. And then you guys had a little bit of an interesting rest of the draft, so I'll go through these because they're kind of... Actually, there's one interesting pick, right? But we got Jake Andrews, Chad Ryland, and C.D. So and Antonio Mafi. Interior offensive line and kicker, not sexy picks. I mean, for some people, kickers are the sexy pick, so... and then you also got a punter in Bryce Behringer. And then you got 2 wide receivers at the end here in round 6 and 7. You You got Keyshawn Butte and Demario Douglas. Keyshawn Butte is from LSU. Demario Douglas from Liberty. And then you got some cornerbacks at the tail end as well. You got Amir Speed and Isaiah Bolden. But let's talk about those wide receivers. What are your thoughts on them so far?
Um, I like the Kayshawn Booty one
Yeah,
because the dude, when healthy, can
gets
be
booty.
electric. It booty
Sorry, he can be electric for sure.
can be when he's healthy, and a lot of people had him kind of like at the end of last season doing like early prediction draft stuff for this season. Had him as like a first round guy.
Yeah, he's.
When
Oh,
he
I
was
didn't know
drafted
he was
4 or 5.
5'11". I thought he was bigger than that. But ran a
That
four
was not
five,
too bad.
which isn't bad.
Uh-uh.
Um, But yeah, so like you were saying, like he came from LSU before this year. He was kind of projected to be, that next LSU first round wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
They had a change of system. They brought in what's his
Chip
name?
Kelly?
Chip no,
No,
Brian Brian
Brian
Kelly.
Kelly. Yeah.
Brian Kelly from Notre Dame kind of switched up the system, new quarterback, I think, and then just everything was just different. I feel like from the
Mm-hmm.
LSU, and so his role definitely changed. And first week he, basically drops the whole team off of his social media, comes back, has some on and off games, and then had some very interesting stuff right before the end of the season. Declared for the NFL draft, so
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people thought he was going to miss the entire draft, actually, but sixth round is kind of where you take your chances on people. So I don't think it's a waste of a pick at all, especially
Mm-hmm.
because I could definitely see him being a special teams guy for you guys, be a pretty good gunner. And then, have you watched much of Demario Douglas yet?
I have not. No,
Okay.
not too familiar with this cat.
I think he's pretty good. I think there's some upside with him too, but like I said, these kind of picks are more like the potentials, special
Yep.
teamers, the upside guys, and stuff like that. So, overall though, how do you feel about this draft? Is it out of 100, what would you grade it?
I'd probably give it high 80s.
High 80s, B
I
plus.
mean, yeah, B plus on the cups of an A maybe.
I feel like it's hard to judge because of the kickers and interior linemen.
I think we took one too many interior linemen. We should have taken a tackle just on the fact that Trent Brown is. I think he's on like his last year of his deal, or he just resigned like a 1 year deal or something. He's running out of time and he's getting old. I think he's like 32 now or 30 something now.
Yeah.
So he is about out of his tenure here. So would like to get someone in there that can replace him or at least learn from him. And he is 30 years old right now.
Okay. Yeah.
But it'd be nice to have someone in there that can learn from him for a couple years or however long he's with us.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we should have just taken one more tackle. And I mean, we need kickers. We lost Jake Bailey, or we just didn't resign him, or we cut him, or something. So we needed a punter. Nick Folk's getting old. He's still Mr. Automatic, but
Sorry, some technical issues there, but we are back, and we were just talking about the kicker Chad Ryland
yep.
and the punter here. We got Bryce Behringer. Cool stuff.
Yeah. Basically, I was just saying that we lost Jake Bailey because I think we either let him go or cut him or something. He's not back, so need a punter. Might as well draft one, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Why not? And then get a little competition in there for Nick Folk with Chad Ryland out of Maryland there. So Nick Folk's getting kind of old as well. I think he's like 37 or something. He's pretty old as well. So,
Yeah.
but the German lad himself can still kick him, as we've seen.
So have
He
they?
is 38. Whoa, man.
Jake Bailey is.
No, Nick Folk. He's
Oh, Nick
38.
Folk. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, he's an old fart for sure. All right, so let's go expectations for Christian Gonzalez this year. Do you think he has a shot to be Defensive Player of the Year?
Mm, I'd say yes. Not. I don't know if he's going to be like super electric like Sauce was, but I mean, for a minute, like Jack Jones last year was in the running for a while. He was killing it. So, I mean, if you Christian Gonzalez, I mean, it's not arguable at all. He's a better player. He's probably our best corner that we have now, just coming in. So, and I think in our system, that's if you put the work in, you're going to play good. That's how our defense has always worked. We always have at least top 10 defenses, most of the time within the top 5 or close to it. So, I think he could have a shout at it. I don't think he wins it, but I think he's in the conversation.
Okay. Do you think he is viewed better than Devon Witherspoon by the end of the year?
Yes.
Okay. That's an interesting one because they already have Tariq Woolen, who had such a great year last year, so it'll be interesting
Mm-hmm.
to see how those two compare. But I got to give it to you. As much as I hate to say it, I feel like the Patriots had a good draft, especially the first 2 rounds. I think they were knocking it out of the park there. A second here. I didn't realize I wasn't muted on our Discord.
No, it's okay.
But yeah, like I said, I hate to say it, but I feel like you guys had a good draft. So congrats. Hopefully it translates onto the field and it's not just a paper draft like so many people think it could be. But that's going to be our video for the Patriots. So thanks for watching. And if you're watching this now, we are going to be moving on to the Colts for their draft. Let me move on over to Indianapolis Colts.
The
So
RAS testing machines. Was it
RAS,
RAS or RAT?
yeah.
Yeah.
Relative athletic score. That is the name of our draft is relative athletic score. Our first 2 picks, Anthony Richardson and Julius Brents, scored 10 and 9.99 per, on the RAS, in that. So basically saying Anthony Richardson is the most athletic quarterback ever as far as the draft process is concerned. And our cornerback is in the top 0.01% of all cornerbacks through the draft process as well. So we got some freaks there, and the rest of the board is a bunch of freaks. But I was telling Mikey this. One of the things that we just don't get to see until the draft happens is a lot of the behind the scenes, the personal stuff, the things that kind of make the players who they are, rather than just what their tape says, what their combine says, and stuff like that. And so, up until the draft, we didn't really get to see too much of who Anthony Richardson is. But now that we know, this is the guy that the Colts have been eyeing since beginning of the year, if not beginning of the whole season. There's a scout for the Colts, Morocco Brown, who texted Ballard in August, said this guy is the #1 pick this year, Anthony Richardson, and that they could probably pay admission just to watch him throw the ball in practice. That's how amazing this guy was in August. Obviously, not a perfect year, and that's one of the things that I like about this pick is with Anthony Richardson. No one is lying to themselves saying that Anthony Richardson is going to be, right off the bat, the guy. He's going to be perfect. He's going to be Josh Allen year one or anything like that. That's the thing that I like about this is one, Anthony Richardson has that potential to be a top quarterback, but we're realistic with that. He's not there right now, and we can't expect him to be there right now. But there's a lot of things coming out right now that just make me so excited to root for this kid. I am so pumped about this pick. And if I knew a lot of these things beforehand, I would have told you myself that this guy was going to be an Indianapolis Colt. But I'm just super pumped about it. I know Mikey's probably annoyed by all the things that I've sent
No.
in our group chats because I'm just so pumped about this pick. I thought I wanted Will Levis, to be honest, and I won't rewrite history. That's who I thought I wanted, with Bryce Young and CJ Stroud off the board. But I was pumped about this pick. What do you think, though, as an outsider, about Anthony Richardson?
No, I think him in the out of all the quarterbacks, I think he potentially probably has the highest ceiling.
Oh yeah,
Like the dude can be electric. And the one thing I like also that I read that He was reading comments or something about how people were just saying how he's super inaccurate. And he's like, well, that's fine. I'm going to use that as fuel, and I'm going to take the criticism. I'm going to use that, and I'm going to get better. And I'm going to use it. Like, I'm not going to sit here and moan and cry about people hating on me. He's like, well, I mean, they're saying it, and obviously, I probably need to work on it, so I'm going to work on it.
Yeah.
And so he's super accepting of criticism and wants to learn. And I don't know. I just hope he doesn't turn into Andrew Luck, because then the Colts are back, baby.
The Colts are back, baby.
Well, they'll have a good chance of being back again.
But
No,
like
I think it's a great pick.
the thing that I'm excited about is that we didn't have to trade any draft capital either to get Anthony Richardson. And so you have the Panthers trade obviously their first this year, a first next year, another pick, and also DJ Moore, who is basically an equivalent to a first round pick at this point as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so they traded all of that to get Bryce Young, and he could have a great year too. I don't have anything against him. And then the Texans, yeah, they didn't have to trade anything to get CJ Stroud, but they also had. It seems like they had a little bit of a quarrel about who they were going to take, and got to this point. Well, what if we just do both? And I think that's what they decided to try, was to do both, and that's what they set their hearts on. And so they traded up to number 3, which in essence is like a trade up for CJ Stroud as well. Like being able to be comfortable in picking CJ Stroud, knowing you also got Will Anderson as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Texans had to trade to make that deal happen. So they got worse in the draft capital in the future. And then we're sitting there. We don't have to make those trades. We got, our first round picks next year. We got to keep our second round pick this year and everything like that. So I think we're just extremely lucky, and I'm super super pumped about the draft. The other picks here, especially if you don't know the rest of the draft for the Colts. So we got Juju Brents. He's listed as Julius Brents, but everyone calls him Juju Brents.
Solid.
He's a guy that came from Indianapolis. They when they gave him the draft call, they said you can just drive right down, drive down to the facility right now. He was living 20 minutes away from the facility when they drafted him. So that's pretty cool. But he also has like over 80-inch wingspan, so really long arms. I think he's 6'2" at the position, maybe 6'3".
Mm-hmm.
Pretty quick. I'll be honest, I did watch some of his tape, and I didn't see anything extremely like I wouldn't say he's a, what's the word I'm looking for, Sauce Gardner, or like Devon Witherspoon or Christian Gonzalez. Like they obviously showed extremely good tape, but Juju is someone that is a projection pick. It's the traits, the athletic profile, and the scheme fit. So that made sense. They also traded down from their original pick of 35 down to 41. They collected 2 extra picks that added into the rest of this draft class, which we'll go over. But the next pick, I was shocked when we took him, mainly because I was shocked that he was there. But Josh Downs out of North Carolina was such a steal, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
He is 5'9", but he is also really quick. I wouldn't say he's a true burner, but he has probably the best like quick area, short area routes that people run. He's just in and out of his breaks extremely fast. His RAS score was the lowest at 8.99, so just a hair under the 90 percentile. But for that is at him being 5'9". So obviously he is 5'9", but everything else with him is elite. Physical skill sets. So I was super pumped about that one. If you haven't seen it, that's probably one of the best draft day calls I've seen in a long time. That was really cool. He's a very emotional dude. So it's just good to see that, that players care that much. So then the rest of the draft I'll kind of go through pretty quick because I don't see them starting right away. I think they have kind of a role to play and eventually could develop into starters. But we had 12 draft picks, the most in Colts history this year. So there's a lot of people to go through. So the first one is Blake Freeland. He's a swing tackle out of BYU. I actually posted a like a quick breakdown of one of his plays against Notre Dame. And what was really cool to see about that was when you're playing tackle, you can have like a, say like a your the guy that you're supposed to block, right? But you in certain run sets, you want them to over pursue, so that way it makes it easier to block them out of the play. And so in the set, you could tell that Blake Freeland recognized that he was getting too far in, and so he kind of did a little hezzy and let the guy over pursue just a little bit more, and then was able to block him out of the play. But it was something that it was just like a split second decision to say, oh, let me let him feel like he's getting upfield more, and then I can block him down. So it was just good recognition there, and just kind of a cool insight about it. But I didn't realize that we were going to be taking him on the Colts. But he's a good swing tackle. He's really athletic. He needs to put a little bit more weight on to be like a true anchor down left tackle. But I think he'll play both tackle positions pretty well on a moment's notice. The next one here is out of Tomiwa, out of Bawore, out of Northwestern. A lot of people call him Tommy now or Tommy, but he is a physical freak as well. 6'3" defensive tackle, played some defensive end as well. Darius Rush is a converted wide receiver to cornerback. He comes out of South Carolina. Um, the next one here is Daniel Scott. He's a safety out of California. Everything I've heard about him is he's a pure special teamer, but he can also play safety if he needs to. And then Will Mallory, probably one of the faster tight ends of the draft, out of Miami. He is gonna just play a backup role right now. Maybe he'll get some play as a receiving tight end. And then the last couple of picks here, Evan Hull, running back out of Northwestern, teammates with Adebawore. I don't know why it keeps jumping me back up. A good pass down running back, Titus Leo. I believe he is from FCS as well, but he is a fast edge rusher that has a lot of development ahead of him. Jalen Jones, cornerback out of Texas A&M. He's young as a corner, has some upside to him, but obviously didn't play well enough to be a day one or two cornerback. And then we got Jake Witt, who is coming into his third year playing tackle. He came out of Northern Michigan, and before that, he was a tight end who also converted from wide receiver. So just a pure project at tackle again. So that's the rundown of our 12 picks. But I think the most exciting picks are Anthony Richardson and Josh Downs, and I can't be happier about it. I am just so pumped about those two picks specifically.
Well, what's your rating?
My rating, okay, so I'll be honest. The thing that everyone's saying is that we just killed this draft because of all the athletes that we picked up. But we really picked up two, maybe three first day for day one starters, if that. I think Julius Brents, to me, I think he starts, but I think he has a lot of growing pains. Like we saw with Rock Yassin, is he had a lot of growing pains, and I could see this happening with Julius Brents. But Josh Downs and Anthony Richardson, I think, start game one.
Mm-hmm.
And someone pointed out the last time that the Colts took a wide receiver, a quarterback in the first round, and drafted a 5'9" wide receiver was Andrew Luck and T.Y. Hilton, and they were in the same round. So that's kind of an interesting comparison there. But I'm so excited about it, man. I would say if I was to give this draft right now, I'll give it a hesitant 89. I want to go higher, but honestly, I don't see a lot of just pure starters right now. They have a shot, but I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, because if we think that we're already done right now, then we're toast come season. So we'll see. But right now, I'm saying 89 with a chance to become a real A plus, especially if Anthony Richardson hits. Anything after that is cherry on top. So.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh, I just feel like I talked a lot there. That's my bad.
It's your draft.
Yeah,
it's what you're meant to do.
But
I don't know anything about those guys, so.
Well, so the cool thing about Anthony Richardson is that, and If you guys care at all about these kinds of things, definitely go look at a lot of the Colts draft content, especially with the next pick is their series about the draft. But in there, Anthony Richardson was it was basically talking about how he's had to basically be like the father figure for his little brother growing up, and so he's had to grow up a lot faster than most people have had to, and his maturity, he's already a pro, is what his college teammates say. Like he already has that mindset. He's moving his family up to Indianapolis, so he's around his family all the time rather than just hanging around with a bunch of dudes with, millions of dollars in their pocket.
Hmm.
So I think that will be good for his development as well. And I think he has to start this year. I would venture to say that unless there's something really hindering him from playing, you play him game one and just say this year is Anthony's year to explore what he can do
Yep.
at the NFL level. And after that, tune in on, certain skill sets, certain, footwork. Like he even says he needs to work on his footwork. But I think year
Which isn't
two,
bad in the pocket though. He has some pretty good maneuvering in the pocket. So
yeah.
surprised you
Well,
said that.
what's interesting is our one of our head scouts. I think he's actually our assistant GM, Ed Dodds. Asked him, and it was like, why is it that you'll hit these crazy throws when you're in a dirty pocket or you're on the run, but when you have a clean pocket, you just miss them. He's like, it's my footwork, and he was
Oh,
saying like,
I got you. Yeah, like
and
his throwing motion stuff.
yeah, and he's like, well, he's like, I've had 8, 10 different people telling me what to do. He's like, and I'm just overthinking it. Basically, is what he basically was telling him. So I like that he knows what the issue is. It's not like oh
Mhm.
yeah, well, my wide receivers were in the wrong place, or kind of
Well, if they would
chucking.
just catch it,
Yeah. So I
my
am
fault.
I'm so pumped about Anthony Richardson, man. He's such an easy guy to want to root for.
Yeah, he's a
And
pro for sure, dude.
the other thing too that was really cool was Jim Irsay. He had Anthony Richardson and his family in, and he was telling Anthony Richardson like these kids need someone to look up to and someone to be a hero to them. I was like, man, for an owner to see that in someone that he's drafting, I think is just so cool. So that was really cool. I'm really pumped about all this, but I
Well,
am
hopefully it pans out.
I'm gonna go get a jersey here now and get my Anthony Richardson jersey. But yeah, 89 overall, room to grow. It could also just completely tank and end the career of Chris Ballard as a GM. We'll see. But that's my recap of the Colts draft.
Yeah, they did pretty good.
All right, so this is going to be our time to talk about the draft in general outside of our two teams, the Patriots and the Colts. So we are going to be talking about a couple different like awards or picks or whatever. So basically, we're going to be talking about our favorite pick outside of our own teams. We're going to do the least favorite pick, and that could be whether it impacts our team or whatever. Then we're going to be doing the biggest reach that we both have come up with. And then we're going to be going on offensive and defensive rookie of the year projections as well. So, starting off with you, Mikey, what is your favorite pick that was not taken by the Patriots?
Um, Scroll down a little bit here. Keep going. Let me just see what all this was again. All right, scroll back up. Okay, my favorite pick was right there at the number. No, sorry, I thought you were at the top. It's number 2, CJ Stroud. Only
uh,
because the hate for the Colts is back, baby.
rivalry is back on.
No, I
Oh,
just love CJ Stroud, and he was my QB1. I don't know, a lot of people like Bryce Young, but I just like CJ Stroud. I like the pick for the Texans. They're putting a squad together. They're doing good things. They're doing good things, and if they just keep building on it, and then I think I don't think this year he'll light it up. He might show some flashes, but within the next 2 to 3 years, if they keep building on that offense, and their defense that they're putting together right now too is absolutely nutty as well. So if they keep building on that team, I think CJ Stroud is going to thrive. And he's a quarterback, okay? He's not a test taker, all right? He's a quarterback. He's a quarterback.
Well, and the guy that ran that test even came out and said that test score is not really what his true test score is. So don't worry about that, Texans fans. The Colts can still beat you with a smart quarterback. My favorite pick, I think is going to be Dalton Kincaid to the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, weird.
The reason why is they leapfrogged the Dallas Cowboys to pick him, and it was pretty evident that they were just banking on getting Dalton Kincaid there. So anything to screw the Cowboys over, you gotta love. But also pairing Dalton Kincaid with Josh Allen is gonna be extremely fun. Kincaid's probably the best receiving tight end in this draft, and I think he comes in as a top 5 or 10 receiving tight end in the league. Just great hands, great routes. I mean, against USC, he almost had nearly 20 receptions in the game and over 200 yards. So, as a tight end, when they know they're going to you and you can still put up numbers like that, that makes me think of Travis Kelce. Obviously, they're not going to be the same guy year one, but a great tight end for Josh Allen to have. And I just think the value, the fit, I think is probably one of the best in the first round. But Mikey, your least favorite draft pick that has occurred here?
Dalton Kincaid.
Dalton Kincaid. Okay. Outside of that one.
Oh, Dolphins didn't have a pick. That's right. I was gonna see who they picked just to keep it in the division, maybe.
Yeah.
My least favorite pick.
And I know that Dalton Kincaid is, but like just for the sake of the video, we're doing another one.
Man, I don't know.
And you can go least favorite as in like you didn't like the pick.
Well, okay. Well, I'll go with the Jets. Will McDonald.
Okay, that's fair.
Not that, I mean, he's solid. I don't know. It's the Jets.
Yeah, don't like them getting good in any way.
Yeah, I think they might have. I mean, middle of the first round is an okay spot for him. Maybe a slight reach, but just having another edge rusher that could maybe be dangerous in the AFC East.
That's tough.
I don't like it because that's probably the hardest division in football now. Thanks, Aaron Rodgers, you fucking loser. God.
No, it's
Quit trying to be like Brett Favre, bro. Quit trying to be like your dad. God.
So, I would say my least favorite, and this isn't going to be, I mean, DJ Stroud to the Texans. We kind of already brought that up. So, I'm going to go with one that I kind of just felt like wasn't a great pick. Was Quentin Johnston to the Chargers. I hope I'm wrong. I don't want to wish anyone's downfall, especially if I don't know him. But just like, I mean, Jackson Smith and Jigba, you didn't really have a chance on him. But then you have Zay Flowers and Jordan Addison right after you. And with those two dudes on the board, like you got guys that can actually catch with their hands instead of like having like, Quentin Johnston to me is Cordell Patterson. Like he's a great big wide receiver who's fast and he's got good yak ability, but there's a reason why Cordell Patterson's a running back and not necessarily a wide receiver. And I just feel like that's the pick. And I guess if that's what you really want, good for you. But Zay Flowers to me or Jordan Addison, like I feel like they're going to be open down the field. They're going to be chain movers and stuff like that. So to me, that was just like the least favorite pick that I had. So.
That's fair. Sorry,
All right.
excuse me.
No, you're good. What's your biggest reach in the first round here?
Emmanuel Forbes right there at 16 for the Commanders.
Let's open this guy up.
and also because they took another corner in the second round.
Yeah. So he did have a combine um, production score of 81, athleticism score 86, total score 88. How do you get higher than the total? That doesn't make sense to me.
Who
But
knows how they
six
do
foot
it?
one, 166, long arms, um, kind of small hands, right? Eight
Eh,
inch, eight and a
kind
half
of,
inch.
yeah.
Um,
Creep it
not
up to Kenny Pickett size there.
Yeah, not that he's going to be a bad cornerback. I don't think we're saying like he's going to be trash and he's just going to get walked all over. But like the thing is he's going to have to play off man. Like he can't play press man coverage at his
Hmm.
weight, and unless it's against Devontae Smith and running backs. But um, just it's just an odd pairing, especially in the first round. So yeah, I agree with you. I think that's a good reach pick right there.
Especially when someone else who is right below him was still on the board as well.
Yeah. Let's see. Gave up Gave up nearly 30 pounds alone
Hmm.
on a corner.
Wait,
Um,
how big is Gonzalez's hands?
nine or so 8.5 to 9.5.
Nine
So a
and a
whole
half.
inch.
Okay.
Year one starter, and they have eventually be a plus starter. So yeah, it's an interesting move for the Commanders, but they got a
What was
new
his
owner.
40 time? Sorry, I'm just trying to compare the two. He was fast.
435,
4.35,
438.
4.38. Okay, very similar.
So yeah,
All right.
so kind of crazy. I would say for my reach, I was gonna say Jameer Gibbs. I'm changing that because I don't think Jameer Gibbs is as big of a reach as he is just a bad value pick, if that makes sense. Like I think
Hmm.
skill wise, he's gonna be a good running back. I think the biggest reach though, um, hmm, it's hard at that point too because now it's like who else is kind of a reach. I would
Jack
say,
Campbell.
yeah, I was gonna say, other than Jameer Gibbs, I'd go Jack Campbell. And again, it's kind of the same thing with running backs and linebackers. They're just not great values in the first round. And the only thing that makes it kind of reasonable is they're in their boards, they're the best players at the positions available. So,
Hmm.
you can either get the sixth best tackle or you can get the number one linebacker. And so, like, to me, that's kind of the deal there, but like, it's still reaching, right? Like, value wise, you're leaving off a board that someone could be more valuable than the guy that you took. So
Hmm.
that's the only thing there. But I mean, the only other like real reaches, I almost want to say Anton Harrison. Not that he's a reach because a lot of people have him in that same area. I just don't think he's as good of a tackle to be picked in the first round. But other than that, there's not too many like just big reaches. So overall, it seemed like a lot of good value in the draft throughout the rounds.
Hmm.
So that leaves us to the rookie wars. Who would you wager to bet would become the offensive rookie of the year? Yeah, three quarterbacks, two running backs, and four wide
Four
receivers,
receivers.
and a tight end.
Hmm. It's probably gonna be one of the QBs. Which one? I could see Anthony Richardson, honestly. The other thing is he would have to be the for sure starter, which I would start him,
Yeah,
but I don't think like those guys. Some people don't start him for some reason. I'd say it's either going to be Anthony Richardson or CJ Stroud.
okay. I will go if I'm going to put my money on it. I'm gonna go Bijan Robinson, offensive rookie of the year.
That was one of my other ones, dude. It's
Yeah,
so hard to pick.
it is really hard. I think the thing is he's he's gonna be comfortably like a day one starter,
Hmm.
and they had a fifth round running back from BYU go and get 1,000 yards after like 8 starts. It seemed like that he had. So Bijan Robinson taking over there. He doesn't have to have the whole full load carry, but he's gonna be day one a top back in the league, and the Falcons are geared for that. So I can see Bijan Robinson kind of taking and running away with this pretty early on, while a lot of the quarterbacks have, like everyone said, they're gonna have issues their rookie year. I think ever other than Bryce Young, but like Bryce Young doesn't have great wide receivers around him. Um, the Texans don't have great wide receivers. The Colts, I mean, they could have good wide receivers, but they're not bona fide yet either. So I think it's a lot easier of a route for Bijan Robinson for me.
Fair.
All right, defensive player of the year though for the rookie. Sorry, defensive rookie of the year.
Yeah. For me, it's either between mm, it's probably either going to be between Jalen Carter and Christian Gonzalez.
Ooh.
And I'm on, I'm not trying to be biased here. I will give you my reasoning. I'm going to say Christian Gonzalez just at this moment because Jalen Carter's still going to be on a line with Devontae Wyatt. And
Jordan
I think,
Davis.
yep. Oh, yeah, Jordan Davis. That's who's there. Sorry. Devontae Wyatt's at the Packers. Correct. My bad. Jordan Davis. And I think Fletcher Cox is still there again another year. So he's still going to be competing with time for him as well. And Christian Gonzalez is probably going to play every snap. He's going to start. He's going to be our main corner. He's going to have the Sauce Gardner treatment in a sense, as in just having the game time and actually playing and being there and all of it. So I think he could give wide receivers the Sauce Gardner treatment, if you know what I mean. He won't be that good, but I think he's a good shout for it.
Yeah.
Just at this moment from everything.
So trying to think because I Tyree Wilson has kind of an injury issue right now. Vaughn Witherspoon is sharing a backfield that's kind of crowded right now as well. Um, I almost want to go Lucas Van Ness. I almost want to do it.
That's not bad though. That's not a bad shot if you're just trying to keep it different from mine as well.
Well, not to be different, but the thing is he's such a disruptor that I feel like he could just walk in there and just immediately cause issues for the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Um, how funny would it be if I picked Jack Campbell and also called him the Reach?
Yeah, he's a reach, but he's gonna be the defensive player or defensive rookie of the year.
Shoot. But if I would put my money on it, and I feel like I'm pretty decent with inside my own conference and recognizing when there's actual talent there. And I feel like Will Anderson with the Niners guy, blanking on his name right now. Oh, who's the guy that they got from the Niners for their head coach? I'm blanking on it.
Oh, the Ryan, right? Something Ryan,
Yeah,
D'Amico Ryan.
D'Amico Ryans. Yeah, I feel like Will Anderson, D'Amico Ryans, them trading up. I feel like it's a great like just total package of like this is
Yeah,
going to be his year, and he's ready to go. So
he was
I'm
third on my list.
I'm going to be unbiased here, and I'll say Will Anderson. So that's where I'll go.
Very humble of you, Dylan.
Yeah, but I actually, hey, I called the Jaguars being the team to go from worst to
You did,
first.
yeah. You
So
did say that. Check out that video, guys. Way back in the day. Dylan
yeah,
called it.
way back then. But if you made it to the end of this video, that means you appreciate this content. Hurry and drop a comment of your votes for those specific rounds, the offensive, defensive rookie of the year, your reaches, your favorite picks, all that good stuff. Interact with us. We always like to comment back to reply. So go ahead and do that real quick. Drop a like and follow. Helps us out a bunch. Other than that, enjoy the season and deuces.
Peace out.
Sweet.
Dang, what